We are now entering the period of World War II in the history of the Consolidation Coal Company and the Elk Horn Coal Corporation. How would the wartime effort and patriotism cause a major split between the coal mine industry and the United States government? How will the administration and the United States President Franklin D. Roosevelt handle the defiance of the coal miners as they refuse to work under the anti strike pledge? All aboard the Kentucky Tennessee Living Time Machine. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine for our flight back in time, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger vehicle to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. World War II. It was only 2 years after the reorganization of Consolidation Coal Company in its bankruptcy case that America went to war. From September 1st, 1939 to September 2nd, 1945, America had been dragged by the scruff of its neck into the deadliest conflict the earth had ever seen to that point. Coal was in high demand, with the heating of metals to shape steel into warships, tanks, planes, and other equipment. And then there was still the coal being used in the production of electricity, heating of homes, cooking, train transportation, and industry. This war could not have been better placed in time for Consol. As things started to look pretty bleak and the doors were just about to be shuttered, war happened and it brought a vital needed shot in the arm for the industry as a whole. The coal miners were considered to be a vital industry employee, and many were given exemptions from fighting in the wartime effort. Once again, because of war, if the coal miners were gainfully employed by a coal company, then the employee could stay at home and work. But this was not all sunshine and rainbows for the American coal miner. In fact, there was a lot of strikes and upheavals going on in the background to protest working conditions, living conditions, and wages. No strike pledge. Even though coal mining continued in the Appalachian Mountains during the time of the Consolidation Coal Company bankruptcy case, there were major strikes going on because of work conditions. The UMWA, or the United Mine Workers of America, waged labor wars and strikes against the United States government. This was in defiance of President Franklin Roosevelt's anti strike pledge. As part of this pledge, according to the source of Labor's Giant Step, the first 20 years of the CIO, 1936 through 1955, quote, Washington had imposed a wartime wage freeze and compulsory arbitration of all labor disputes through a War Labor Board, or WLB. It had won a no strike pledge from class collaborationist labor officials who backed the imperialist war effort. In defiance of these anti labor measures, coal miners went on strike over the coal operators' efforts to increase hours and freeze pay. When Roosevelt threatened to send in troops to break the strike, the miners stood their ground and faced down the government. Their victory opened the road to the strike wave that exploded in 1945 through 1946. Unquote. In the 1930s to the 1940s, the Harlan County War was the biggest strike that was going on. We do have a video concerning the true story of the Harlan County War and encourage everyone to view it after this video. We would also like to remind everyone of our Coal Wars playlist. All of these strikes had taken place during the same time as this story. Links in the description box. January 2nd, 1943. The Pennsylvania anthracite miners walked off of their jobs because they revolted against the economic hardships that were being laid upon them. In March of 1943, the UMWA gave a list of 7 demands that the coal company must meet for the strike to be broken. Here's a short list of the demands according to the source How Miners Defied No Strike Pledge in World War II. Quote, on March 10th, the UMWA opened negotiations with the Appalachian soft coal operators. Among the 7 demands, Union President John L. Lewis and the UMW committee presented to the mine owners were 1. Retention of the existing 35-hour, 5-day week in the coal mining industry. 2. Inclusion of all time traveled from the pit entrance to the point of work and back to the surface as part of the paid work time. 3. A $2 per day raise in base pay. The UMW president cited the terrific accident rate in the mines due to the lack of safety equipment. 64,000 men killed and injured in 1941, 75,000 in 1942, an estimated 100,000 in 1943, with the intensification of war production, unquote. The coal companies and President Roosevelt was having none of it. In fact, President Roosevelt's administration made it harder for the coal miners that dared to defy the pledge. The administration demanded that if the coal mines continued to be closed on May 1st, 1943, that they would be met with severe force. By the morning of May 1st, every Union soft coal mine in the United States was closed. In reaction, Roosevelt ordered the government seizure of all closed mining operations under Solid Fuels Administrator Harold L. Ickes. Ickes ordered the American flag to be flown at all seized locations. The mine operators and owners were now to be considered government agents. Ickes also declared that the miners were also working for the government and ordered them back to work on June 1st. Not one miner showed up for work. By June 3rd, Roosevelt threatened to call out the troops on 530,000 coal miners for their refusal to work. However, Roosevelt knew that even if he rounded up every single coal miner, he could neither throw them in jail nor could he force them into the mines. Even if he used such force, they could simply refuse to pick up a single pebble of coal. If the administration arrested UMWA leaders or the Union president, John L. Lewis, the coal miners swore that there would never be any coal mining until hell froze over. How the strike ended. To end the strike, President Roosevelt sent Ickes back to the negotiation table with the UMWA. On November 20th, an agreement was made. The new mining wage was $57.07 a week, and each miner would be given $40 as a retroactive payment for travel time. This was a major victory for other forms of industry. No longer could the government slash wages, increase the hours, and exploit the labor, all in the name of the wartime effort and patriotism. This victory for the miners opened up other labor struggles in the years of 1943, 1944, and 1945, with an epic ending between 1945 and 1946. This fight led to the eventual gains that the coal miners would fight for post World War II. They would eventually receive health care, welfare funds, and retirement pensions, and black lung payments. In next week's video, we will begin the post-World War II era of the Consolidation Coal Company and the Elk Horn Coal Corporation. Thank you. Kentucky, Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the scandals of the Consolidation Coal Company. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification button. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky, Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.